Well, this question comes from Elaine in Lindsay, and she would like to know if you've ever made a political decision that has ended up negatively affecting your own family.
I'd have to think about that one, but that's really not the gist of this part of the program, is it? The only thing that comes to mind is, I've been in a couple of campaigns now, running for mayor, and there was a few individuals in our community that made some very disparaging comments about my family during those campaigns, and whether it was I guess it's a political decision to run, to run for office, and did it make me wonder if I was doing the right thing? It absolutely did. I knew I was doing the right thing, but it made me wonder if it was worth it. And so that's kind of the one that jumps to mind. And we got through it, and we all sort of got together and talked about it, and I was willing to maybe go a different direction, but they said, no, don't do that. This is about what you want to accomplish and what you want to do in your life and for the community. And they were fully on board. So here we are sitting talking about it.
And I took that question as simply, on a policy level, have you ever had to do something that might impact?
Yeah, nothing jumps to mind
Right.
as far as, a decision, that affected my family. We make decisions all the time that, whether it's on a tax or property tax affects my family,
Right.
We make decisions about a downtown. My wife has a business downtown, so there's always things that are done, and ultimately this affects me like it affects every other resident or affects my family members. I've had my stepkids tell me, like, why would you do that? Or a playground, why can't we get a playground in our community? And it's like, really, we're doing the best we can. We're trying to keep everybody happy, but I can't even keep them happy some days.
Okay, well, what about this jump-in platform I'm seeing all the time in city advertising? What's that about?
It's a program the city has on our website, and it's really an open-ended program where residents can, as different things, come up from the city's perspective, budget, any input they want to have into different aspects. It's just jump in, and it's an easy platform. From what I hear, people are really sort of taking advantage of it. It's not a platform to complain all the time. It's a platform just to get input on, what do you think of this idea? Or, do you have another solution? Or this is going to happen in the next little while. Do you have any ideas of how we could do it better? How should we communicate it? So it's very open-ended.
Quick feedback.
Quick feedback.
Yeah.
It's just a great opportunity for our communication staff to reach out to residents and just give us some back and forth. We'll tell you what you think. You tell us what we think, and they really like it. They're getting some great feedback.
Now, Jackie in Lindsay wants to know, and I don't know anything about this issue, but she wants to know why it's a possibility that taxpayers might be on the hook for $440,000 for costs incurred at the Correctional Institute on Highway 36.
Yeah, Jackie's got a good question there. I would wonder the same thing. Our Lindsay and Ops police budget, the Kawartha Lakes Police, is area rated to the residents of Lindsay and Ops, obviously, because the OPP police the rest of it. Our jail, or our prison jail up in Ops, is part of that jurisdiction. Right now we have 3 officers there full-time who deal with complaints in the jail, criminal charges, assaults, things that happen in the jail, probably more than you would think. And the province pays for those. So the province funds that, and our police officers are stationed there permanently. So they're not trying to react back and forth, from Lindsay to take away from other issues. So the province has told us that as of January 1st, they're cutting funding for those 3 officers. We're going to have to fund them. So we're saying, well, then they won't be placed at the jail, obviously. They'll be part of our regular police force. So how do we integrate them back into our police? Do we need 3 more police officers on our force? Or, but the other aspect of that is there's still going to be these problems going on at the jail. So now our police are going to have to react every time there's a call, and that might be 7 or 8 times a day.
So what's more cost effective?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if the province isn't funding it, we have to pay for it, and ultimately, if we have to pay for it, it goes on to the taxpayers, to pay for that service. So there's different ways we can integrate it. That's an absolute worst case scenario. So I wouldn't say that $440,000. We have officers retiring. So if an officer comes back from the jail, we possibly won't rehire an officer. We'll integrate them back into it. But at the end of the day, the big concern is how do we still deliver that level of service, for criminal complaints by not having people stationed there. It's a tough one. It's not a good decision by the province.
A gentleman in Fenelon Falls wants to know why Lindsay gets all the subdivisions and new stores. He says Fenelon badly needs a second grocery store because everyone's forced to shop at Sobeys or drive a big distance to find an alternative.
Develop subdivisions and businesses development are driven by outside forces. We do zoning. There's lots of zoning in Fenelon Falls for another grocery store. We need some private developer. We don't go out and tell developers, we have plans. There's a lot of infrastructure in Lindsay. There's infrastructure in Fenelon Falls as well. We don't tell developers where to go. If they feel there's a development opportunity in Fenelon Falls, they would buy up that land. They would do a market study and build another grocery store if a grocery store thought they could be profitable. The bottom line is most of the growth occurring now and in the past and probably in the future will be in the Lindsay area. That's where we're seeing the most demand. And as a result of that, you'll see more growth here, from housing and the businesses obviously that come along with that. But there's a couple of big developments planned for Fenelon Falls. Some condo development on the river there off West Street. I know there's some downtown work going on to revitalize. They've just had the brew pub. So Fenelon Falls is next. Fenelon Falls is, Bobcaygeon was redone and Lindsay's be redone. And Lindsay will be our big growth in the city of Kawartha Lakes. That's not going to change. But Fenelon Falls needs to hang in there for a couple more years, and they're next. They're coming, and we're gonna do a good job up there.
Okay, last question for this segment. Rhonda would like to know when there will be connected bike paths and lanes in Lindsay.
We're doing a master transportation study to sort of try to tie all that in together. We've had some criticism about we're building a new road. Why didn't we put a bike lane on it? But you can't just put a bike lane that leads to nowhere, right? I mean, we have to tie this all in together with our trails and our transportation. There's a lot of ways to do that after the fact. There's a lot of ways to do that, but we need that big picture of how we tie it all in together. We know the future is biking and getting away from cars, and we've got that on our horizon. We're not doing it on a one-off. We want to do it properly.